So you in the head and made your own YouTube-based TV show. It's an array of IPAs and fighters on the road. Got a question? Put them in your comment section right below. Barbershop talk while you're sitting in your living room. Pacquiao, Mayweather, and we can't forget the bruise. Coming to you live with the scoops like a ladle. Allow me to introduce the boxing round table. Yeah.
You motherfucking tube. It's your boy Rollo Jenkins. Man. Something funny happened. I was kicking it with a couple of fellas. We were talking about this fight. And oddly enough, I'm watching the finals. I'm watching game 2. And I'm watching this play. And Dwayne Wade pump fakes. And Danny Green is running by. He's jumping past Dwayne Wade kind of on the side of him. Like, he's literally, Dwayne Wade is on the wing. And Danny Green jumps kind of to the side of Wade, sort of between him and the three-point line. And, you know, Danny Green is like leaning toward the half court portion of the court. And Dwayne Wade jumps into Danny Green, which is essentially jumping away from the rim to get contact and shoot the shot. And I know that I've seen people do the pump fake, watch the guy come down, jump into him. And I think that's some bullshit too. But this one was so blatantly, obviously, strictly just to get contact, to get a call, that it made me realize that it comes to a point where real men do real things. Now, to some basketball guys, they might call that a good play or a smart play. But to me, it was some bullshit. To me, it's some hoe ass shit. I don't relate to that hoe ass shit. So it was some hoe ass shit to me. Now, if you relate to it or you think it was a smart play, to me, you might be a hoe ass nigga. And that don't make me right or you wrong. It's just the way I feel and the way you feel and why we probably don't relate to each other. Now, to me, I see a lot of hoe ass shit in basketball. You know, in watching the playoffs, I've seen LeBron do this shit where a dude is checking him. He's standing there and he kind of got his hand out. And what LeBron will do is hurry up and throw his hands up like he's getting ready to shoot a shot to get some contact. That's a hoe ass shit to me. That is by far some hoe ass shit. Because to me, it's only the real way to do it. You know, that old fake ass shortcut shit. You know what I'm saying? It might be smart to some guys. I'm just not one of those guys. To me, that's just some hoe ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's just some hoe ass shit. I ain't cut like that. If I can't beat you fair and square, then I don't want to beat you. Prime example, let me tell y'all something. My granddad was alive. I would sit around with him, and we did this for years. We would sit around and play checkers for hours. You know what I'm saying? Hours we would sit and play checkers. And when we first started playing, we would play, and I'm not even exaggerating, 100, 150 games throughout the night. And when I say throughout the night, I'm talking about we playing from fucking 7 o'clock in the evening to 5 in the morning type shit. And some of the games would go so quick. You know what I'm saying? Some of the games would only last a minute or two. He'd be done jump 2, 3 of my men. 2 more moves later, he jumping 2 more. I'm like, fuck it, let's start over. Shit, no sense in dragging this out. So we would play over and over and over and over again. And he would always say, you don't want me to let you win one? I used to say, nah, what's the point of you letting me win? What's the satisfaction in that if you just gonna let me win? That's stupid. What the fuck would I want to win like that for? So over time, after losing thousands of games, and I'm talking about some of them in a heartbeat, I eventually started to get better. And then when I would win, whether he let me win or not, I wasn't sure if he did or not, because I did know that I was getting better. And finally, when I got to a point where we would damn near draw every game, I knew that I had arrived. I knew that I had gotten to a point where it wasn't him letting me do this shit no more, because we always got to a standstill. It was like every game was a draw. And what makes it so bad, or what makes it even better, was we went from playing hundreds of games a night to 10 or 12 because they took so long. We both had to sit and study the next move, because the next move, you had to figure out the next move, and the next move after that. So as I was doing that, he had to do the same thing. So when I was moving and then he would make a move a split second after I made that move, it was because he knew that I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But once it got to a point where I knew what I was doing, he had to think a lot more with his next move, because he knew that I was thinking about the next move too. And now to this day, when my nephew or somebody else want to come play checkers, they can't fuck with me. They cannot fuck with me. And I know how he felt when he was beating my ass so damn easy. And I never could see how he could see it so easy. But now that I've gotten to that point and to that level, I know what he was seeing when I couldn't see it. Now, when I watch basketball and I see this whole ass shit going on, it's never not whole ass shit to me. And it's never not gonna be whole ass shit to me. Because if you can't do it the correct way, if you just can't pull up and shoot and make the shot, if you can't back the man down or dribble past him, you gotta try and do some whack ass shit like the dude is already flying by you. He's not going to dictate. So he wasn't gonna interrupt the shot at all. But he did the whole ass shit and jumped away from the basket, away from the rim, and to the dude, just because he knew that the referee would blow the whistle. That's some whole ass shit. That'll always be some whole ass shit in basketball to me. I've never been playing basketball and thought that to do some shit like that. Now, what's the difference when you drive into the rim and you know that, all right, this dude can't check me, and the only way he's gonna stop me from getting to the rim and me getting the type of shot that I want is for him to foul me. But when you create the contact to get the foul, that's just some hoe ass shit to me. That is a pure hoe ass play to me. Now, getting back to boxing, I thought about, for many years, you couldn't do hoe ass shit in boxing. Guys who think that that's a smart play, there was no type of play like that in boxing until recently. We got one guy who opened up the door for all the hoe ass shit that could be in boxing to be prominent now, to have scapegoats and to do whack ass shit. It's certain shit that you couldn't get away with. See, I tell people this all the time, and you know what I'm saying, maybe some people just have to do their history and read some books and shit. But the way that a lot of guys fight now, the way that they get in the ring and so-called, air quotations, they box, you couldn't win fights like that back in the day. Because the shit that people call boxing was fighting, it was considered fighting scared back in the day. And we've had discussions in the round table about how in the fuck did a particular style be called what boxing is. Like, Brandon Rios isn't boxing. Like, his style is a slugger. But how is it not considered boxing? How the fuck does a knockout guy like Keith Thurman not be considered a boxer? He does everything a boxer does. He jabs, he goes to the body, he moves his head, he fights with his hands up, good defense, and he knocks motherfuckers out. What is there not boxing about that? So, it brings me to this. Cotto took a few guys' shine away because he had the balls to do something that other motherfuckers didn't have the balls to do. And that's because real men do real things. Carl Froch went and took some motherfuckers' shine away because he kept fighting. He fought all the guys that some other guys were supposed to fight because real men do real things. Now, everybody at some point, we can all sit and complain about how much money we make, our benefits at work or lack thereof, our work schedule, where the fuck we live. Some of us complain about the snow. Some of us complain about the heat. You know what I'm saying? So, to some degree, everybody can complain about a contract or some shit, right? Carl Froch could have done the same thing, but he just kept fighting. Kept fighting so much so that he created an atmosphere around himself in a fight that cannot be compared to anything that anybody else has done in boxing for many years. There has not been an event like the Carl Froch George Groves fight in many years. They said they packed Wembley Stadium with 80,000. And that's what happens when you just do what the fuck you supposed to do, which is a real man doing real things. Now, all of this hoe ass shit that motherfuckers like to talk about now in boxing has been opened up and brought to light by a hoe ass nigga. So it gives hoe ass niggas the green light to talk about the hoe ass shit in boxing. So I don't ever remember Oscar De La Hoya saying how he was the highest paid boxer or the highest paid athlete at any point in his career. Nobody gave a fuck about that because kudos to him when he was, but that didn't have shit to do with what he did in the ring. Cotto shocked the shit out of everybody by doing what he did Saturday. And what's funny about it is nobody at no point in time on no podcast that I watch, no show, no shit, did I hear anybody discussing how much money Cotto was gonna make for this fight. Cotto did do some hoe ass diva shit, talking about he wanted to come to the ring first or second and all of that shit. But when it all came down to it, he did what the fuck he was supposed to do. Cause real men do real things. This motherfucker went from 140 pounds to 160 pounds and fought the lineal middleweight champ of the world. Albeit how bad Martinez looked and all of that don't really matter, because when you just do what the fuck you supposed to do, good things happen. Real men do real things. So even though nowadays us as boxing fans, we talk about all types of shit that don't have nothing to do with boxing. We talk about promoters, managers, networks, net worth, fucking resumes, lack thereof, who's a draw, where who fought, all of this shit. When all we really should give a fuck about is the fight. Who won? How did they win? Who's gonna fight next? Because if we're gonna always make excuses for why a fight shouldn't happen, then we can always make an excuse why a fight shouldn't happen. There would always be an excuse. Cotto and Canelo. Well, maybe Canelo shouldn't fight Cotto because who's gonna be the A side? Some would say Cotto, right? And somebody else might say, well, that's why Canelo shouldn't fight him, because he won't be the A side. He shouldn't fight Triple G because Triple G don't bring in enough money. Well, if Triple G don't bring enough money, how the fuck will Triple G ever bring enough money if he don't ever fight none of the guys that make the money? He ain't never gonna become a big draw fighting guys who ain't draws, right? So it's always an excuse we can always make, because the door has been opened for hoe ass shit to be brought up in boxing instead of motherfuckers just fighting. Because there used to never be room for that shit. If it was a good fighter and another motherfucker was supposed to be good and they were in the same weight division, there was never an excuse for the motherfuckers not to fight. But nowadays, there's always an excuse for fights not to happen. And I ain't even talking about the one fight that everybody always seems to fucking bring up like a fucking badass, like it's like herpes. The shit just keep coming back for some reason. After 5 years and the shit ain't happened, people still talk about it. But fuck that fight. I'm talking about Kovalev Stevenson. I'm talking about Gamboa Lopez, Gamboa Garcia, Danny Garcia, Ruslan Provodnikov, Danny Jacobs, Kid Chocolate. Why hasn't that fight happened? Pacquiao Provodnikov, Andre Dirrell, Andre Ward. Why hasn't that fight happened? Amir Khan, Kell Brook. What the fuck is the holdup? So, there's plenty of fights that haven't happened that we would all love to see. All over the place. But for some reason, we always get constellation prizes. Constellation fights. But the one thing we can say is, guys like Canelo and guys like Cotto, they just go out and do what the fuck they supposed to do, and good things happen for them. Because real men do real things. And when it all boils down to it, when it's all said and done, when motherfuckers done hung up their gloves, we're gonna always be able to look back at guys like Roberto Duran, Oscar De La Hoya, Miguel Cotto, as a long line of guys who were fearless in the ring, who took chances and risks, and they didn't always come out on top, but they did always come out on top, because even when they lost, they still were winners to so many people. And to some people, even when they win, even if they win every time, they still fucking losers. It's your boy, Rollo Jenkins. Holla at your boy.